Hey, welcome to Rockley, YouTube's best channel for record collectors. This week, I want to talk about a release from heavy metal band Tyrant that I just can't get enough of. I'm going to share my thoughts on Analogue Productions' latest UHQR and show you some recent pickups. Stay tuned.
Get ready for Rockley, bringing music to you. Rockley, rock and roll, metal and country too. Get ready for the record of the week. Get ready for Rockley.
Alright, record of the week is Hereafter by Tyrant. Tyrant is a LA 80s heavy metal band. I think they've had a few different lead singers over the years. And anyway, they've recruited Robert Lowe of Solitude Aeternus, Candlemass fame, to do lead vocals on their latest release, and it is awesome. It is quintessential heavy metal with this nice dusting of doom metal, and it's really accessible without being dumbed down, and it really embraces that classic 80s heavy metal sound without sounding dated. It's a really, really, really good album. I love it. I think a standout track is Dancing on Graves, and it's just extremely catchy. I love the guitar, and the vocal delivery from Robert Lowe is just fantastic. So if you like that classic metal sound, LA 80s metal sound, I think you'll really dig this one. And it's also, if you've maybe been hesitant to dip your toe into the doom metal genre, I think this album is a fantastic gateway record. I think it's stellar from start to finish. You know, that it's not a perfect, every note, every transition hit perfectly. There's a few bumps and warts here and there, but I just think it goes with the sound that they were going for, and it creates this almost liveliness and realness about the album that I just really, really dig. Also love the aesthetic. The cover art is just fantastic. Definitely giving me some Candlemass vibes. Maybe that's why I like it so much. But zero complaints. Okay, so Aqualung, Jethro Tull, UHQR. My initial thoughts, wow. It's utterly, jaw-droppingly fantastic. I really dig the Steven Wilson mix. And if you want to see why in my comparison to other versions of this record prior to this, there's a link somewhere. So I love the Steven Wilson mix, and I think it's an insanely great bargain for the cost. You're talking $20, $25. And you get this beautifully remastered. Now it's digital, but this recording was always lacking the bass, the low end, and Steven Wilson was able to bring that up in the mix. So some people argue that it too much low end, and just can't stand the Steven Wilson remix. It's definitely a modern interpretation, and while I really, really dig that, this UHQR, again, because it's reflective of what's on the tape, it doesn't have the low end, but everything else, the soundstage, the placement of the instruments, the clarity, all the buzzwords and things that you look for in the best pressing or in these shootout comparisons, it has it, and it has it in spades. However, the low end just isn't there. But when I compare back and forth, the Steven Wilson mix sounds really artificial. It sounds fake. While it sounds good, I put this one on the UHQR, and there's this realness, presence, and liveliness of this recording that just isn't there. Even on my Classic Records 33 RPM reissue, which apparently this uses the metalwork from Classic Records, and but this is the 45 RPM version, which Rockin' Ronnie had said that he preferred his Classic Records 45 RPM, but he was willing to concede that the Steven Wilson mix was definitely a bargain for $20. But in talking with him, he even said that the bass is just a little too much on that mix. And I didn't agree fully, but I do now. It's almost a cartoonish sound in comparison to this UHQR. And again, I know some people think it's not fair to compare the remix to the original recording. But like I said, also comparing it to the Classic Records reissue, this one is amazing. And what's awesome, and that you don't see very often, is they replicated the original cover. It's this beautiful texture, matte finish that it's probably the best looking cover in my collection. It's very, very well done. I've talked about the UHQR setup as far as the box set, and I just love the way that they've designed these with this kind of a wooden dowel that you can pull out of the box versus the MoFi standard lift top box. This just seems more refined, more luxury, if you will. It's also just easier to access the record, in my opinion. You can still just pull it off of your shelf. And really like the style, quality, just great. I will say, I'm in the Mobile Fidelity Facebook group, and everybody tends to post, just all audiophile recordings in there. So Analogue Productions gets in there, Speaker's Corner, Impex. And this UHQR has been very popular to post in there. But man, for whatever reason, people have just gone on the hate train of when people post this, it's like a gaffe. I don't know, and people posting how they're sick of seeing Aqualung and da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. Anyway, it's a great recording, and this is clearly the best version. All right, now it's time for some recent pickups. First up, we have Motorhead's Ace of Spades. I just got this one. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but the previous version I had of this was also a reissue, and I think it had a hype sticker saying, cut from the original high definition masters, but it's not good. I didn't like it at all. And anyway, so I got rid of that, and this one is supposedly cut from the master tapes, according to the hype sticker, half-speed mastered. So I'm really interested to hear what this one sounds like. This is Rodriguez, and it's a psych folk rock. There's a awesome documentary on him that you should check out if you haven't. And anyway, the Light in the Attic reissued this album and has this cool die cut cover, and the music is awesome. Definitely recommend checking it out. Here I have some of my record store day pickups. Rory Gallagher, Cleveland Calling. It's an acoustic stripped down session, unreleased before, and I really, really dig it. Nice acoustic interpretations of some of his songs, and anyway, I was really digging this one. And then the other record store day I picked up is Judas Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny. Actually, I did not have this one in my Judas Priest collection, so I've been meaning to add it. I had been looking at Japanese pressings, US pressings, but just never found one that was the condition that I like at the price that I wanted to pay. But this one cut at 45 RPM, which I saw people complaining because it's a shorter album, being spread over 2 discs at 45. So people just don't like to get up that much, but I think it sounds really good. And the cover is this, they've embossed, and it's just wild looking. I really dig it. It's really unique, and then it's also on this color and color vinyl that looks really sharp. Alright, here we have Liquid Sound Company. This is a psych album by John Perez, who is a member of Solitude Eternus, and yeah, he went off and did this side project, and I've been getting into psych rock, and this is a hidden gem. I really dig this one. Robert Lowe, which, if you can't tell, I've been kind of obsessed with him as far as going through various things that he's put his vocals to. He's been part of several different groups, and so far I have not found a project that Robert Lowe is on that is not worth listening to. And this one is no different. He's only on one track, Mesmerizing Eye. It's phenomenal, but the other vocals on here are really good too. I really dig it. The cover art's a little, psychedelic, but it comes on the psychedelic splatter vinyl. I definitely recommend checking this out if you're into psych rock. Alright, now we have Tim McGraw's Everywhere. This album was huge when it came out. My parents had a CD copy that we listened to pretty much nonstop, and just a lot of great 90s country hits on here. It's actually getting particularly difficult to hunt down, as is, 90s albums on vinyl are hard anyway, but 90s country albums on vinyl are insanely hard to track down. So if you can grab a copy of this, it's worth picking up, in my opinion. Here's another psych rock album. It is Folkstone Prism by Kinelmas. I might be butchering that, but they're a psych rock band out of Phoenix, Arizona. A cult classic. Really difficult to find, but they recently reissued this album, and Mike of the In Groove over on his channel, he was really high on this, recommended it. It sold out before I could buy it, and he has a shop. I tried to get it from his site, but he was sold out. Anyway, I ended up picking up a copy at a normal price, but they've already skyrocketed. And it's really good. If I had to choose between Liquid Sound Company and this one, I would recommend Liquid Sound Company. But this one's really interesting too. And anyway, I'm glad to have it. Well, that's it for this week, guys. So I'd love to know your thoughts on Aqualung and what you think the best version is. And if you've checked out Tyrant and their latest release, Hereafter, I'd really love to know your thoughts. Anyway, that's it for this week. You've just had a healthy dose of broccoli, and I'll see you next time.